My God, why have you forsaken me? Into your hands I commend my spirit. It is finished.
I saw Jesus, and he's alive.
Jason, we will live together again.
If I'm going to write this book, I need to immerse myself in everything Easter.
My mom and I are going to a cabin this weekend to participate in this annual Easter egg hunt.
Sounds fascinating.
Easter on Looney Tunes?
They must have. That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. But he was a famous rabbit after all, so.
That's true. And like Yosemite Sam is Pontius Pilate or something. And Bugs Bunny is Jesus.
They did they did one called Easter Yeggs. And it kind of looks like Bugs Bunny with a big Chungus type figure. Look at this. Look at the Easter rabbit in Looney Tunes.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's definitely about pagan sex worship.
Yeah, in the gay community, there's a lot about a live, a twink, wily rabbit such as Bugs Bunny and a sort of a larger, older, more washed up rabbit.
Which Looney Tunes character would be Judas?
Tasmanian Devil.
Okay.
I don't know. Who's the most plotting? I know who it is. It's the Roadrunner. No, not the Roadrunner. The Coyote. It's Wile E. Coyote. Yes, because think about it. He's always hatching up plans. He always thinks he's doing the right thing. Like, finally, this is going to be the thing that delivers me. And he's always destroyed.
That's true. They should So there's more than one take on how Judas died, right?
That's correct. Yeah. He hung himself in some versions, or and I've brought this up on the show before, and I learned this, or I was at least reminded of this from Snoopy's podcast, but in the book of Acts, he invests the 40 pieces of silver and buys a field with it. And then when he's in the field, he falls and his guts spill out.
Wait, he keeps the pieces of silver in that version? Oh. And then there's the version where a mob of children turn into goblins and chase him.
That is a very specific version of the gospel. Yes. There's the gospel according to Mel. I don't mean Mel Blanc, the Looney Tunes director. I'm talking about Mel Gibson, the director of The Passion of the Christ, which we will surely get into in some capacity in this episode.
He's got a possibly Christian movie coming out next weekend, I think.
Really?
Father Stew with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, that's right. We've been thinking, you've been mentioning Father Stew.
Yes.
Yeah, we should probably go see that. Should we go to the theaters and see it when it comes out?
Probably, yeah.
Do you think you'll be projecting it or?
No.
Mm-hmm. Not gonna.
I could have one time. We had a sneak peek of it at my theater, and Mel Gibson showed up to it in full disguise, right. Like facial prosthetics and everything, as if he was like Gordon Ramsay in 24 Hours to Hell and Back.
24 Hours to Mel and Back.
Yeah. Maybe they're filming that. I don't know. Secretly.
Maybe. Damn, Mel Gibson showing up to places in prosthetics.
Yeah, because he was just sitting in the audience. He didn't take it off till he was settled. And,
wow.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
That is very wild. Father Stew. So wait, you did see a sneak preview of it? You've seen it?
I did not. I was not working that night.
I see.
But coworkers told me.
I see. What's the word on the film? Is it good?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it was more of a point of focus that Mel Gibson showed up in weird facial prosthetics.
I can understand why that's more of a point of focus. That's great. We love when those. Don't we love our kooky celebrities, folks?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Mel Gibson's always saying the kookiest stuff on, his wife's answering machine and, in various places. Yeah. What a kooky guy. Yeah. Shall we?
oh yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Welcome back to Boys Bible Study. He is risen.
He has risen indeed.
I completely agree. We are back once again. This is our Easter special. We're so excited to share with you all. As always, I'm Ash. I am here with
Scott.
Yeah, so for today's episode, we decided to use media as we do to examine a point of view. But today we're taking a look just at the concept of Easter in general. This will be released on Easter Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Easter's coming up this Sunday now.
It is.
Yes.
April 17th.
Absolutely. We love that. Yes, Easter is coming. Easter is right now when you are possibly listening to this. It's Sunday morning, April 17th. And, I was actually, I was getting a ride with a friend of the show, Nate, and I went past a church that had a really dramatic billboard outside that was Good Friday with a dark picture of a cross, and then Easter Sunday with a bright picture of a cross, side by side. It was this graphic designed almost like you were waiting for the coming attractions at a movie theater. It was coming up this week, Good Friday.
Cool.
Yeah, it would look pretty badass. Made me want to go to church.
Was it for a specific church?
It was it was out. I can't remember what church it was outside of. It was something on Alvarado Street, but it was just it was just a neat little printed out banner that I would love to have in my house, once they stopped using it for this year. But it was cool to kind of use, design to make this particular week look very ominous and cinematic.
Yeah.
What is
it
this
is
called?
cinematic.
Holy Week, right? That's what this week is called.
This week is cinematic.
It is very
Look
cinematic.
at all the movies we just had to pick from.
It's true. It's true. Oh, but yeah, this is referred to in the church calendar as Holy Week.
Which church calendar? Which church?
The Christian church. It's in the liturgical year in Christianity in general. This is just sort of referred to as Holy Week. We got Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, sometimes called Black Saturday, and of course, Easter Day.
All I know is memorial of Jesus' death.
Right. So this brings us to sort of the first question we have that we're going to hopefully work through together, because what I always took for granted as part of being a Christian is now sort of shaken. And that is, should Christians be celebrating Easter? Just in general. Should they be celebrating Easter? I thought I knew the answer to this. If it were just a day ago, I would have said yes, yes, yes.
Yes, gotta be yes, duh.
Gotta be yes. But now,
if there's one day we celebrate,
it's gotta be Easter, right? But I just don't know anymore.
Do you know where the word Easter is from?
I can't say I do.
That of the Bible? Surely it's in the Bible.
Well, in some translations, it is in the book of Acts, but in other translations, it says Passover. They talk about crucifying Jesus on Passover, but in some translations, it says Easter. So I guess to answer your question, no, it's not in the Bible, except for sometimes.
Depends on the version.
It depends on the version. But
Easter is also a name of a pagan goddess.
Wait. What?
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Sorry. It has to do with Ostara, right?
Yeah. We just watched this whole 10-minute video that was all text.
Yes.
That was somehow the most engaging thing that we watched.
It was quite engaging. It was a YouTube video called Jehovah Witnesses - Should Christians Celebrate Easter? The channel is called Jehovah Today. It has 450 views, and it is a really remarkable kind of text and media slideshow that gave us a lot of information in a concise 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
So many Bible verses, too.
So many Bible verses. The Jehovah Witnesses they know how to throw the verses at you.
I don't think there were any verses in the other two shorts that we watched.
Not at all. The Jehovah Witnesses, they always come through with the heaters. They were throwing out verse references left and right. But yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses, should Christians celebrate Easter? We learned quite a bit from this video. Some important questions were raised and then answered. But essentially, no, they should not celebrate Easter. Then again, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate any holiday.
No. But they do have a gathering called Memorial of Jesus' Death that they want a bunch of people to go to, including me, a non-Jehovah's Witness, because I got a letter today in the mail, coincidentally.
Ooh. Oh, no one writes letters anymore. That's so lovely. They were really thinking of you.
I know. It's in cursive, very good handwriting. You were asked if this was possibly printed out. I don't think it is.
No, it looks handwritten. I mean, it was just because the idea of someone handwriting, I mean, who knows how many letters they sent out to.
Right. It seems wild.
But that just goes to show like it really is a personal touch.
It had to have been printed, right? I don't know. It genuinely looks like somebody wrote it by hand. I gotta say.
I mean, it's technically possible. It would just be a lot of work. But again, that is the message that they're trying to send, is that these are people who care about you and like spend time on you, even though they don't know you, you know?
They wrote to me like they know me.
They sure did. Well,
Jay Franklin.
Shout outs to our new friend, Jay Franklin. Well, what did Mr. Franklin have to say?
He said, "Dear Mr. Scott, co-host of Boys Bible Study, I hope this finds you and your family are doing well. Because of the pandemic, I am not able to visit you in person. I am writing to invite you and your family to a very important event on April 15th, 2022. Millions around the world will gather to remember the death of Jesus Christ and to hear a free Bible talk about how his death can benefit us. I have enclosed an invitation, and you can scan the QR code on the back, or you can go to our website, jw.org, to find information to attend something in person or virtually. I hope you can join us. Please continue to be safe, and we hope to see you soon. Sincerely, Jay Franklin."
Well, thank you, Jay Franklin. How nice is it to get a personal invitation in a world where things are getting more and more depersonalized? You know, no one has time for the little things. Like, I'm so glad there's one denomination that is reaching out to podcasters in such an intimate format, you know?
I'm surprised that they require that I have a smartphone.
That is interesting. The QR code is the best way to reach the invitation. Is there anything else provided? Is there like a link?
They did say go to jw.org, so I guess as long as I have a desktop computer, I could still
start
figure it out. Or go to the library. I take it back. Still, though, they're making me do an extra step. What the heck?
Well, you know, it's because of the pandemic they can't visit you in person, so they had to send a QR code. You know, just goes to show you. But yeah, you know, I think that just like this contact from the Jehovah's Witnesses. By the way, have you been getting other material from them, or is this sort of out of the blue?
No, they used to come to my old place, but I never gave them my personal information. And this is the first thing I've gotten from them at my new place that I've lived in for like, 2 years now?
Interesting. So, it's something finally came.
Yeah. So it's weird that I never got personal mail from them. They would just show up at my door.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I would just ask them for movies every time.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's great.
I just want to watch movies.
Absolutely. And they make, as we've said many, many times on the show, they make some of the best ones. Now, was the informative YouTube video we watched, was that an official release for the church? I don't know. I would think it would be a little better copywritten if it was.
I would think so too.
There was some really amazing uses of punctuation. In one instance, I noted a quotation mark only on one side, and on the other side, a question mark followed by a period, like a double stop, basically.
Dennis Zeck was their editor.
Famous Jehovah's Witness magician, Dennis Zeck. Dude, he would be
Don't put that on the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Dude, Dennis Zeck would be put to death in the Kingdom Hall. They would not allow sorcerers in their midst.
Good point.
But yeah, this video is very interesting because it continually referred to Easter as pagan sex worship, which I thought was very interesting. Like, it continued to, or it repeatedly invoked sex specifically, and used that as a scare tactic to try to dissuade you from celebrating Easter. But you know, the issue that we had with the main argument of the video is that, I mean, it doesn't say, there's no bunnies in the Bible. There's no eggs and bunnies in the Bible.
There's no bunnies in the Bible?
No, they hadn't been invented yet.
Not even on Noah's Ark?
No.
Wow.
They would have said it in the Bible if it was there. I'm telling you, there's no bunnies in the Bible.
That book that lists every animal in existence.
Yeah, the book of Numbers.
The book of animals.
Mm-hmm. They really would just try to take, their special thing is they take all the fun out of everything. Like,
yeah.
That's what Jehovah's Witnesses do. They're like, yo, we're going to read a commemorative poem for Jesus because he died on this day.
They want to be as accurate as possible.
They do.
I appreciate that about them. They're Bible based.
They're very based. But I don't really want to go all the way to a Kingdom Hall just to hear them play, like put up a picture of Jesus and play See You Again by Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth. Like, I just like would much rather celebrate a Christian Holy Week. But, you know, even as I say that, obviously, you know, there are no bunnies and eggs. There's no egg roll. There's no egg decorating in the Bible. But, you know, the official church liturgical year does refer to this holiday as Easter. So
yeah,
I could see the Jehovah's Witness argument that, like, even the official liturgy has been fused with some sort of pagan custom.
Hard to deny, to be honest, once you look at Christmas too. But I am kind of the mind, like, who cares? Just in that, you know, isn't it like, if your heart's in the right place or whatever, isn't that fine? No,
Absolutely not.
Actually, that I did take a screenshot of when one of the many things they typed for us was, a rotten apple is not transformed into wholesome food merely by wrapping it in the skin of an orange.
That was crazy. I will be wrapping my mind around that phrase for possibly hours to come after this.
I'll be wrapping my mind in the skin of an orange and calling it wholesome food.
That's not going to make your dirty mind wholesome. Doesn't matter what fucking fruit you wrap around that thing. That thing should be sent to the dry cleaners.
I just got to watch more movies. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, wait, what did he even mean by that? What did the makers of this video even mean by that? A rotten apple is not made wholesome by wrapping it in the skin of an orange. Okay, so I think that refers to the fact that because Easter has pagan origins, if you just claim it for the church and say that it's holy and that it serves God, that doesn't mean that it will be wholesome.
Right.
Yeah.
The Easter festival is an unclean thing because its roots are in pagan sex worship.
Sure.
Reading that off the screen.
Sure. And people who celebrate it, as it also says right here, dishonor Jesus Christ by associating his name with that abominable form of worship in these words.
Yeah, what else you need to know?
You know, I will say that Easter aesthetic has always been really fascinating to me. Like, going to Michael's craft stores or, Joanne Fabrics or any of those like, chain craft type stores. And I always loved going around Easter time.
Because there's just blood and Roman soldiers everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, honestly, like, if I had it my way, Easter would be more popular than Halloween. Because, like, Easter craft store aesthetic is crazier than Halloween craft store aesthetic. Like, I mean, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong. It's charming. Pumpkins, ghouls, goblins, skeletons, things of that nature. But Easter is like you walk into a craft store and there's like straw and like hoops and baskets. It looks fucking crazy. It looks like the Wicker Man. Like,
yeah, true.
Like, I think it's very like, oh shit. I think it's a very like ominous holiday. And
They should have Spirit of Easter stores.
Yeah.
Just the same Spirit
Yes.
of Halloween. Should
Yeah,
just do
Spirit
every
Easter.
holiday, honestly.
Oh, that would be so sick. Yeah, Spirit Easter would be amazing. Like, no, I really think it would be like the original Wicker Man film. Like, that's what Easter reminds me of, obviously, because like Wicker Man is taking its aesthetic inspirations from, the same kind of like pagan fertility celebrations. But like, I love, and we may have even talked about it on the show a long time ago. Oh, I remember when we talked about it was when we were discussing Hereditary quite a while ago with our friend Mary. But Easter is so delightful for that reason. It takes place in broad daylight. It's creepy and ominous, if you look at it in a certain way, but it's also daytime horror. It's not nighttime horror like Halloween. I'm through with nighttime horror. I want daytime horror.
Well, fortunately, you have the follow up to Hereditary, Midsummer.
It's true. Those are great. That's the Halloween and Easter of the Ari Aster,
of A24.
Of A24. Yep. Yeah, but the Jehovah's Witnesses, they are always, coming at us with the hottest takes, and that's why we love them. Like, they show no mercy. Like, they refuse to compromise, and we just got to respect that about them in a world where so many people have been compromised, myself included.
They're taking it as seriously as possible.
Yes.
They want to get to the bottom of this. They want to do the right thing. They don't just want to fuck around.
Right.
And eat candy and worship the Easter Bunny.
Right. No. It's a mess. But the Jehovah's Witnesses weren't the only Christian denomination to whom we went for a look into the Easter mindset.
No, we also got the Latter-day Saints.
We
the
sure
Church of
did.
the Latter-day Saints.
Love those saints, even if they were late. Okay, even if they came in the latter days. Oh, what? You couldn't get up early enough to get here in the Old Testament? I don't get it.
Better latter than never, I say.
The Never Day Saints. Yeah, the Latter-day Saints, we know them and love them under the name the Mormons. They have a great video propaganda wing of their own. Would they be the Jehovah's Witnesses in a street brawl? I don't know for certain.
I don't think so.
No.
I think the Jehovah's
lean toward
Witnesses
no.
take it more seriously.
Exactly.
Like the comparison you were just making, I think Jehovah's Witnesses are the Halloween to the Mormons' Easter.
That's, yeah.
Because they both have very specifically honed production styles.
Mm-hmm.
Very different, of course. And the Mormons are very fluffy.
Yes.
And like their whole thing is just like family.
Right.
And if there's like a little bit of trauma, it gets really washed over.
Yeah.
With soft lighting and hugs, basically.
Yes.
And this movie that we watched, Easter Dream, starts off and ends focused on family. It's really about family.
Right. Right. I just thought of something, which is that the Mormons are very like the Thomas Kincaids of Christianity. Like, they're the painters of light. Like, all of their films do have that really shiny, fluffy, white sheen on them
They do.
that I think some people sort of associate when they think of a Christian movie. They think of that type of sheen, that sort of like hyper reality. It like depicts, an idealized like mundane scenario, but in this hyper real way. I think when people sort of envision that, what they're really thinking of is like a Mormon film. I think that's really typical of their films. And you brought over today, Scott, a VHS from your personal collection.
Easter Dream.
Easter Dream. There's still a 25-cent sticker on the front, which is very charming.
A young boy's dream takes him back in time.
Yeah. The young boy looks like a perfect blonde, like, I'm sorry to say it, but like Aryan youth. It's very like haunted, but in a very serene, idyllic way. And what info do we have? I mean, anything for the back of the box?
Not too much. It's from 1990. To me, very, very typical Latter-day Saints. It's like 23 minutes long. They have a lot of videos that are between like 22 minutes and 25 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Fairly typical, except in this case, they combined their modern aesthetic with their Bible Times aesthetic.
Right.
Which look pretty similar, frankly, but you know, they take place in different eras.
Of course, yeah. You know, Easter media is really about dipping into Bible Times, I think. Like, because Easter is one of the most, like, you know, Easter and Christmas stereotypically are like the two services that non-serious Christians will still attend, you know, even if they don't go every week. And they are the Bible passages that people know the best. So it makes sense that a lot of media based around these times actually goes in and we get to see the Bible Times. Easter Dream is no exception, but it would not be a Mormon film without showing us the perfect Midwestern family milking cows and playing catch and, you know, doing all the things that families do.
And the cleanest, brightest Jesus you could possibly put on film.
I've never seen Jesus so bright.
They showed him on the cross with no blood at all.
That was so crazy. So crazy. Well, you know, in very brief summary, Easter Dream is about a boy, maybe 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
I would guess, 13 or 14. And in the film, he is sent to spend perhaps the summer. Well, no, it would be Easter, so it would be like spring, I would assume. Maybe it's his spring break. And he's spending it with his grandfather.
Well, is it Easter or was just his dream Easter?
Oh, that is a good point. You know, they visit a church that, while the church is not in session, they visit an empty church, and we don't specifically see a mention of Easter. But you're right. The vision that's granted to him through the Bible Times is of a resurrected Jesus. The tape is called Easter Dream, but it may not physically take place on that day. So it could be his summer vacation.
That's what I was thinking.
That makes sense. We see him, this boy, God, what was his name?
Oh,
fuck.
Jeez. Actually, does it say
Lucifer?
On the back of the box?
Weird.
Lucian. Jason.
Really?
His name is Jason. Yeah. So this is the Halloween one.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, in this film, a young boy named Jason, we see him on a bus trip, which indicates he's probably going far away, at least a couple hours drive from where he lives. And he's visiting his grandfather, and his grandfather works on a farm. And although the boy is, you know, very sort of pristine looking and his grandfather loves him very much, we do see some perhaps teenage angst in him. He gives up very easily on the chores. He seems kind of down in the dumps and depressed. And the reason, as we find out, is because the boy's father has passed away, probably recently. His mom has sent him to live with his grandpa because he needs his grandpa. That's what his mom said.
Did she tell you why she sent me?
Yeah?
Well, what'd she say?
She said it'd be cheaper than feeding you all summer.
She didn't say that.
No, she didn't. She said you needed your grandpa.
So, very sad. Can imagine it'd be tough for a boy in such a situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, in typical Mormon fashion, I mean, you couldn't be presented with a more pastoral scene. Like,
yeah, it's very idyllic. It's very Thomas Kincaid. It's very cottagecore.
So cottagecore. He has to learn how to use the milking machine, which, I'm sorry, very perverse activity. Very perverse.
See, this is what the Jehovah's Witnesses are talking about.
It is. I mean, but hey, listen, Jehovah's Witnesses, like, that's nature. Like, I know that I flip basically every week from saying like, oh, well, we should, be harder on ourselves and, renounce all sexual urges because the society, doesn't want us to do that. And then I see the Jehovah's Witnesses and I'm like, come on, guys, live a little. Like, how are you made, But, not to take away from, to criticize the goodness of God's creation, but why did he have to make a thing such as a cow? Why did we have to make a machine such as a cow milker where you just fucking plug the tubes onto all the cow's udders and press the button?
Yeah.
It's just something about that just doesn't sit right with me. I'm sorry.
I understand.
And yeah, of course I don't like drink milk directly from the carton, but I have things with dairy in them, so
yeah, there is something suggestive too about not just the machine that gets connected to the udder to like pull the milk out,
right.
But cutting directly from that to him drinking a big glass of milk.
That was very perverse.
Yeah. Strangely suggestive.
It was just like, okay, I just watched this video that this Instagram account I like called Asploitation posted. They just post like sexy scenes from stuff, sometimes famous movies, sometimes like, exploitation-y or, low budget video or whatever. They posted this great clip I had never seen before, which is just the cultural and literary critic Camille Paglia just narrating the club scene from Basic Instinct. Like when Michael Douglas is in the club and he's still kind of like chasing down Sharon Stone and like he finds her in the men's bathroom with her like lesbian lover. And it's just Camille Paglia, who I am a fan of, although she is an insane woman. Just like narrating everything, like just like adding her like sexual symbolism to everything. It's like, now we see her dyke lover walking in the bathroom as if she is a man herself, like just saying shit like that because that's who she is. But I wanted to do that while watching Easter Dream. It's like, now we see the boy attach the milking machine to the cow in the presence of his older male relative. A cut to him drinking the milk suggests taking part in the pleasures of the, I don't know. It's just I just can't help but go into full like poly mode when I'm watching shit like that.
Well, it's not what they intended.
No, it's not. But that's the thing.
But that's the thing. That's the thing too with what the Jehovah's Witnesses are saying.
Yes.
Intentions aside.
And you can't wrap a cow in an orange skin and
you can't wrap a rotten cow in an orange peel and say it's wholesome food.
No. Yeah, and it just goes to show, I mean, isn't that just what the Mormons try to do? I mean, the Mormons are all about making the everyday pleasures of life into these like beautiful, pristine, glittering, like hyper real images that real life can't possibly ever live up to. And the Jehovah's Witnesses are like, no, let's cut off all spiritual self from this earthly life because it's, worshiping Jesus is like unworthy of us bringing our like, human sensibilities into the mix.
Yeah, and do everything you can to bring people to the church and to Christ because you might not ever see them again otherwise. Whereas the Mormons are very like, look, if you do the Mormon thing, trust us, you will see all of your family members you ever wanted to see again and forever.
That's true. And that is a pretty interesting like point of comparison between the two sects, because they are more of the, I would say, I'm editorializing, but I would say they are more of the extreme American, specifically sects of Christianity.
Yeah.
And they're sort of a little separate, like, you know, more conventional, like Protestants and probably Catholics see them and are like, I don't know about that, you guys.
Oh yeah,
like, you guys are kind of weird, even though we're all Christian.
Yeah, I don't know how you were taught about the Jehovah's Witnesses and Church of Latter-day Saints growing up, but I was taught that they were basically cults.
Sure, I don't really remember being taught anything specifically about them, but I actually don't. But you know, I mean, to this day, I would say that there's certainly cult-like elements involved in, I'll just say both.
I would say more so with the Mormons, just because there's more hidden shit. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses, to my knowledge at least, seem fairly transparent about what they're trying to do, at least in theory.
But they do also do the cult-like, they have that aspect of the
cutting someone off.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's true. It is completely fucked up.
It is. It's very fucked up. And you know, but it is a really interesting like point of comparison between the two. Like the Mormons, who I see as more sensual and more open to the idea of pleasure both on earth and in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And having more like
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or things.
Exactly.
About,
Yeah. And it's also like, have lots of kids, which is like have lots of sex, like be fertile, be fertile, you know, multiply. And whereas Jehovah's Witnesses, I mean, they're certainly about having families as well. I don't remember having a big family as being an emphasis of theirs, but they do seem to want to clamp down on sensuality. Interesting.
Definitely. Remember when we watched The Prodigal Returns? Genuinely one of my favorite movies, period. But the biggest moment in that movie, or that's supposed to be the biggest moment, is the misguided Jehovah's Witness has sex once with a girl he likes, who he genuinely likes, who genuinely likes him, who he's been talking to for weeks and weeks. Right.
And, you know, obviously in this case, have sex means the camera zooms out and shows the exterior of a house while they are both sitting in the same room. But
they were drinking wine, though. They each had at least one sip of wine.
Lest we not forget the Roman god Bacchus. Spirit of wine. Doesn't seem to bode well for our young JW friends. But no, I agree with you. It is a pretty clear attack on giving in to pleasure, even at such a young age. We remember the other Jehovah's Witness short we watched. I can't remember which Bible verse it was named after, but it was with the I believe mostly Korean cast, and it was like, if a girl has a crush on you, never talk to her again.
Yeah,
that was basically the moral of the movie.
That one was awesome.
That one was so sick. Oh my God. Like he's like smiling, like the girl's like screaming at him and he's like smiling and just like walking away in the other direction, being like, I did the right thing. It's like, damn. Okay. But
yeah, she asks him to study and like immediately there's an ominous bass tone. I don't remember if there was an ominous bass tone, but basically that's what happened. The whole tone of what was going on shifted.
I guess the only like big other thing to mention about Easter Dream is that the video is called that because while he's getting, you know, more comfortable working on the farm with his grandfather, and in some ways it seems like he's a bit happier and his relationship is growing with his grandfather. You know, he still is very sad, of course, and he still has these moments of angst. He then one night has a dream, an Easter dream, if you will, where he finds himself in Bible times, in pristinely clean Bible times. He sees Jesus dragging his cross through the street. He then sees the crucifixion and the resurrection. He's up on a ladder looking into a room, and Jesus is resurrected. And then Jesus turns and looks at him, and his hair is like sculpted out of memory foam or something. It's like insane.
Yeah. Jesus just had a blowout.
Like truly. It's like honestly one of the best like stylings of Jesus that we've seen in the movie so far. I was blown away by how crazy he looked.
And he really was like glowing.
Yeah, totally. And the sight of Jesus so shocked young Jason, our protagonist, that he falls backwards off the ladder and hits the ground. But he's fine.
When he wakes up to his grandpa waking him up in the truck, he still has his seatbelt on. I don't know what happened, but
yeah, his grandpa just sort of let him
just
sleep out there for a little bit. Sure. Well, it was an Easter dream. And basically the premise of the film, like the overarching theme of the film is that, you know, Jesus died for our sins, and specifically so that we might reconnect with the spirits of our dead loved ones.
Death isn't the end of families any more than it's the end of people. Your daddy knew that. He knew that if we live our lives according to the laws and ordinances of Christ's gospel, we can be together as a family forever. Jesus Christ loved us so much, he died for us. Because of his sacrifice, we'll be resurrected and all live again. And you'll be with your daddy again.
But that's so far away.
I know, Jason.
The message at the end of the film is that don't worry, you will see your father again in heaven. And the reason you will is because Jesus died for us. So, yeah, it just goes to what you were saying just before about how like that is a big part of the Mormon promise.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be fun. Mormons are like, heaven is going to be fun.
You love your family loves you.
Yeah.
You love hanging out with them now. You can hang out with them forever.
Yes, you can. You know, and I think that is another sort of interesting emphasis. You know, honestly, that emphasis is even a little more like straightforward than some of the more conventional Protestant stuff. Like there really is, like, I'm just thinking about this now, but it really is like, here's the reason you should believe in God is because you want to go to heaven and heaven's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And obviously that leads into doing the right thing and going to church and all of that stuff. But it's kind of like, I don't know, like Mormonism seems like, at least from the glimpses we get into it, that it's very much like if you're good, then we'll give you some candy, religion, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas Jehovah's Witnesses are like, if you're good, then
you won't take candy.
Yes.
You won't have candy.
Right. Because that's good.
Because you want to do
that's
what's
what
good.
we want. But yeah, Easter Dream.
Well, there's two other things that we watched.
What was the fourth thing? The trailer?
Well, yeah, the trailer for an Easter bunny puppy.
Yeah.
Which is the truly demented, confused secular world.
Right. Yeah, that was a really cool glimpse.
My man David DeCoteau.
Yeah, David DeCoteau, the king. You know, we've mentioned David DeCoteau before, and we will we have plans to cover him more fully in the near future.
Yes.
Because he is
Christian philosopher, it turns out.
he is. And would it be fair to say he's one of your favorite filmmakers?
Yeah. Yes.
He's become someone I greatly admire through your eyes. I mean, you really introduced me to, he has so much work I haven't seen, but so much that I have. Yeah, he made a film called The Easter Bunny Puppy.
Yes.
in the style of David DeCoteau's like animal movies for kids, of which there is a set, including a talking cat, which seems to be the one that most people know about.
That's a big one. And so is a talking horse.
I've never seen a talking horse. I assume it's similar to a talking cat.
Yeah, those are good money makers because I know you can shoot those in like tops a week.
Yeah.
And then just does the voiceover for the animals.
Right. Yeah, these films all work on a similar premise, which is that they have a live animal, a trained animal, and the animal has lines that are delivered in voiceover. There's obviously no attempts to make the animal look like he's talking, which is fine. I mean, he doesn't need that, but it's just that is the trademark. And an Easter Bunny puppy is an Easter story involving a puppy. An Easter Bunny puppy, if you will.
It is. And you can wrap a puppy in a bunny's ears, but that won't make it a pagan sex worship. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, that puppy is not worthy of worshiping Jesus. That puppy is an abomination.
Wow.
I'm just going to go on the record and say.
Wow.
But yeah, an Easter Bunny puppy, definitely fully secular, definitely, as you said, a demented example of what your Easter season should not entail, which is, glorifying petty human desires such as crushes.
Yes. And then lying to your crush to get what you want from them.
Yeah. Doesn't she say she has a twin sister or something?
Yeah. It's one of those scenarios where the main character has to keep making up excuses and running back and forth to like change back into their other outfit and then be like, oh, it's me, the other one.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
So it must be weird having a twin sister.
A little bit. But there is no Marion.
There is now.
Very stressful.
It's pretty great.
I bet it is. I can't actually remember if I've seen it or I just have the autograph poster. I think I just have the autograph poster. I think the only David DeCoteau animal one I've seen is a talking cat. But I do have a David DeCoteau signed poster.
There you do.
Of Easter Bunny puppy.
But do you have a signed letter from Jay Franklin?
Not yet. Jay Franklin is not aware of my address. But Jay, if you're listening, I live at
if you're listening, scan the QR code on the back of the flyer you went to. That will take you to patreon.com/boys Bible study.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to say $20 tier, biggest chance of me coming to your Jesus memorial. I'm just going to put it out there on the table.
Money talks, Jay.
Money talks, Jay.
Do you think the J's for Jason? Do you think he converted?
Oh, wow. The kid from this movie, he converted and now he's Jehovah's Witness.
Maybe.
I can't help but see that as a positive development. Why do I trust the Jehovah's Witnesses more than the Mormons? Why is that?
I think when you're so straightforward about like, when you're just upfront about like we can't have celebrations anymore, it's like, okay, what's up? Because this must be at least kind of serious because that's not really a selling point.
Totally. I agree.
Whereas the Mormons are like, oh yeah, we can get your whole family into heaven. You're like, wait a minute, that's not what I.
That's such a good point. It seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
Whereas Jehovah's Witnesses, too bad to be not true.
Right. Right.
And yeah, you can't help but trust that. Also, Mormonism has all the different, rituals like Catholicism, which I also have just some instinctive troubles with, even though I know it's a beautiful religion that maybe even many of our listeners take very seriously. But as a dirty Protestant, it just, I don't really get it. It doesn't seem, that's just not the way that I intuitively connect with God.
I think there's something to getting caught up in like imagery and rituals attached to that imagery that feels like it's taking away from your focus of the Bible and directly connecting to God yourself.
Yes, that's the issue I have. And yeah, that's why for me, it's like, I don't really feel like involving the Pope in the equation. I don't really want to care about who the Pope is.
Yeah.
It seems like a distraction to me.
Yeah, it's weird. The Pope was always weird to me too. And again, I'm like pretty biased because I was raised being told like Catholicism's not legit. Like I remember like asking my dad when I was like pretty young, like, so do Catholics go to heaven too? Are they real Christians? And he was like, well, I guess probably some.
Cool. I mean, Jack Chick, the famous Christian comics artist, did not think Catholics went to heaven.
I could see that.
Yeah, he has several comics, or at least one, that's all about that you need to reach out to Catholics because it is a false Christianity. And Jews. I mean, he didn't think Jews were going to heaven. But
yeah. He had a lot of strong thoughts about things.
He did. That's why he's the fucking king to this day.
Have all the Chick tracks been compiled into one graphic novel you can get yet?
Wow, that's an incredible idea. I almost don't think so.
Wow. Can we distribute that? Can we release that?
I mean, we can buy all the Chick tracks and then like scan them and then compile them, but legitimately that would move copies, I think, if they did that. Like Jack Chick is an important comics artist. Like
seriously,
everyone loves him.
It's inspired so many people.
He really has. Hell, I have a Jack Chick tattoo. I do.
There you go.
You know, I love his aesthetic.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna say though, with the Catholicism thing, it was always then weird to me as a kid growing up. Was like, why do they have the Pope as the human connection to God? It wasn't that Jesus' job. He's the human connection to God.
Exactly. I found that very confusing as a kid. Yeah, we like went to a mass one time in my confirmation class just to see what a Catholic mass is like, and I found the experience like people would like wait there to take the blessing and then leave like before the mass was done.
Oh wow.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Again, it seemed like there was an attitude of like, if I get the ritual done, then I can go.
Yeah, do the things and then I'm still good.
Yeah. And I also found that it's like it turns Christianity into like a platformer, like a platforming game, like Banjo-Kazooie. It's like if I collect all 100 notes and all the puzzle pieces, then I go to heaven. Anyway, I'm sorry, this is probably terribly offensive.
Catholicism, the Banjo-Kazooie of Christian sects.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you heard it here first, folks.
You sure did.
We should talk about the last thing that we watched.
We should. We really should.
I kind of threw us off with an Easter bunny puppy.
Oh, that's fine. I'm having fun.
Then this is actually we watched on YouTube. It's available on YouTube, folks.
Yes.
But it's on Pure Flix. That's how I found out about this in the first place. I was just looking through like Pure Flix Easter fodder. And it is called The Passion, a BRICKFILM. It's about a half-hour short film done with Legos, real Legos. It's branded Lego. I assume if it's on Pure Flix, they had to clear this with Lego.
Yeah, there was a disclaimer in the beginning that said that, you know, it was not affiliated with the Lego company. And perhaps that's the only criteria that Lego had for distribution.
That they just had to put that disclaimer.
Yeah, which is actually kind of cool if that's true. If our assumption is true that Lego had to clear it, then that means that they actually do appreciate the act of like creative work with their product, which goes a long way in this world when it seems like everyone is trying to clamp down on people who create things with the building blocks that they provide.
And they're providing literal building blocks.
That's true.
That's why they don't have to like do that shit, because they know they have the best building blocks.
Right. Well, before I give my take, yeah, this is the story of the Passion as done with Legos. I mean, it's films. It's not stop motion. It's basically like tableaus, like Lego tableaus that are filmed, and the motion of the camera and the arrangement of the shots is sort of what creates the motion of the video. And sometimes there's some light like motion, Like there might be an object in the scene that moves.
Yeah,
but-
they'll have like close-ups with really tight focus, and it's clearly like somebody like holding the character by the legs, moving them around a little bit.
Totally. And it is the story of the Passion. It is obviously a bit bizarre to see Christ's crucifixion made with Legos that are covered in blood.
Christ being whipped, Christ being slapped,
Christ being kissed by Judas in the garden. Very psycho to see it done.
Truly.
With Legos.
A lot of sound effects to emphasize things.
Yeah. The whipping scene is so crazy because it's just like, a Lego whipping another Lego with like whoop, whoop, like sounds added in post. It's very, very funny.
It was very bloody though. They added a lot of blood effects and like dirt effects. It was definitely like the grimiest portrayal of this, I would say. Honestly, like fairly comparable to the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, it was like a short version of the Passion of the Christ made with Legos. It really was, which I find admirable in a way. I've got to say, I do not care for Legos.
What?
I don't care for Legos. I really hate the aesthetic. Of course, I love them growing up. You know, you can build things with them.
Okay.
But I'm just saying now, I found the film very hard to look at. I didn't like seeing all the stupid Lego faces and the weird way their heads are shaped and stuff. I don't like the way they draw people, the way they imagine people in the Lego world. It just like doesn't look good to me. Just on a purely aesthetic level.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, why are they yellow? Why are they shaped like that? I know that we've like come to expect that, you know, from Legos, but it's also like, to me, a Lego is like, what's cool about Legos, you know, especially original Legos, is that they were neutral. And now it's like, there's all these very specific sets. And like, I don't know. This is so stupid. I sound like I was born in 1904, but I sound like Jason's grandpa over here. But, you know, why did he have to paint those faces, or are there all those Lego faces that you can order?
I was wondering that too. I think a lot of them are faces you can order. I do think they did extra painting as well, though.
Yeah, sure.
Like when Christ's eye is scuffed and bloody. I don't think that was.
Yeah.
Although, you know, there's this Lego app you can have now. Because a friend of mine's kid has this. They have an iPad with just this app on it.
Whoa.
And it's a Lego app where you can type in every single Lego set you have, and then it gives new stuff you can make based on what you already have.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like that those recipe websites where you can type in like 4 ingredients you have and it like proposes a recipe with them.
What?
Oh yeah, those exist.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. People make those. It's like, oh, I have a tomato and bread and, you know, whatever.
I'd probably use that a couple times.
Well, that is something you can search for.
Wow.
So, but it's like that, but for Legos, like you type in what you have and it tells you things you can make.
Yeah.
Neat.
And so you're like, oh, that's how I build the crucifixion.
How do I build crucifixion scene? Well, if you have the Star Wars Voyagers, I don't know what anything is fucking called. God damn it, Star Wars Voyager. But yeah. Well, filmmaker Josh Carroll has achieved a level of notoriety for his Christian Lego films. This is a young man. If I had to guess, I'd say he's like 21, just based on a video I watched of him on YouTube. And his name's Josh Carroll. He makes these Christian Lego films. He has a film called The Messiah. He has a couple other films, like feature films, made in this style. And I watched like an insane Q&A that he did on YouTube where he was taking himself very, very seriously. Because I mean, he should. I mean, he was responding to very serious listener questions and fan mail and stuff. But still, it's amazing to see a young person be like, Yeah, I'm the one who makes the Christian Lego films. Here's my thanks for coming to my AMA.
Yeah.
Like he's like Spielberg. But he is. I mean, listen, some of his videos have millions of views. That's, seen way more than like a lot of filmmakers would ever hope to be.
Way more than the Brick Testament videos, for example.
Those are crazy. The Brick Testaments.
Yeah. I love them.
I like them too. I know you're a fan. I've watched some with you. But
actually, I forgot. One of the first things I posted on our Patreon was like a very shortened version of the Brick Testament's Book of Revelation.
That's true.
It's like an 8-minute version of it. It's insane.
Yeah, you re-edited that, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I stayed true to it. I just shortened down to the best parts.
Right.
Yeah, all totally. Highlights. I wasn't twisting anybody's words or anything.
Of course, yeah.
But what I liked about that was, like you were just asking with, are these real faces you can get or whatever? For that one, they just got whatever Legos they could get. So it's like there's like random basketball players in the background and just whatever's available is, Star Wars Legos or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, just everybody. They just got all the Legos they could.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I would have liked this movie a little better if there was basketball players in it.
Or if as your roommate Jim pointed out, if like a Bionicle was whipping Jesus.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I guess that's another thing that I found interesting about the Lego Passion play, the Passion, a brick film or whatever the fuck it was called, is that I felt like we were in the uncanny mode with how heretical it was. Because it was like heretical but truthful to this point where I was like, this is undignified and it is an abomination before the Lord. But I almost wish it was, a Bionicle whipping a basketball player, Jesus. Then I would be like, okay, well, yeah, of course you're doing this. This is like someone playing with Legos. Like this is like someone with an active imagination, again, taking what they have and going with it. And certainly the Passion Play was very creative and imaginative, but it was also like, well, you got all the correct pieces. And for some reason that like makes me less interested in the project because I know that Lego doesn't make such a set, but they could with all the ones that you like bought or whatever.
You should be able to buy manger sets though.
Yeah, maybe they do have one. I don't know. I didn't think to look that up.
They should do all the religions.
Oh, I completely agree.
I wonder what the Jehovah's Witnesses would think officially of the brick film.
I don't think they would like it. And the reason I think that is because, as we discussed a couple weeks ago in our conversation with Michael Belandic about Turmoil in the Toy Box, Jehovah's Witnesses are very nervous about the Smurfs.
Right.
And they think that toys are going to come to life and kill you. Like a friend of the show, Riley, brought up how there was that like Jehovah's Witness like urban legend that these Smurf figurines came to life and pushed a wife into the oven while she was cooking.
Why did they do that?
Because they're demonic.
Oh.
That's just what they do. They live to like cause chaos and destroy human good Christian life,
I'm trying to imagine like if I'm at the oven, how somebody would have to push me that I actually fall into it.
Well, you better be glad you'll never have to find out.
It's like how many tiny hands, like where do they push me to? Yeah. May I never find out. Yeah. No, don't close it. No. I just push it open and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why'd you guys do that?
I almost burned myself.
You can't do that. Yeah. Well, imagine you're bending in to see if your cookies are done.
Okay.
You open the oven and it's already hot and you're like crouching down to like look at the cookies. And then a million tiny hands push you from behind. And where are you? You're completely inside the oven.
Just because I have the biggest Smurf collection in Southern California.
Uh-oh. Don't like the sound of that. For this reason, I don't believe that the Jehovah's Witnesses would be very fond of the Lego movie because it's like the toys that have humanistic qualities, like represent, they're inanimate objects that were animated by some kind of evil force. And there's something that's unsettling about that, like inherently.
They would probably latch on to like that Legos have produced like ghosts and skeletons too, or something like that, and be like,
that's not right.
Objectively evil.
Yeah, that's not good.
I was wondering with some of the whole thing was biblical, but some of the dialogue in The Passion, a brick film. When Jesus says, "Everyone on the side of truth listens to me," and then Pilate says, "What is truth?" Was that in the Bible?
No,
okay.
Absolutely not.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that.
That one
at
was
all.
no. I better not be wrong about that, but like I feel like I've read that recently. Pilate never looks at Jesus and says, "Mr. Pilate." Hold on a second. John 18:38. I have some important news to share.
Oh no.
So the Lego New Testament, or what the fuck? The Lego Passion was very much based on the book of John. Because it contained the miraculous catch of fish post-resurrection, which I believe is unique to the book of John. But believe it or not, John 18, verse 38, I'm going to read from the NIV. Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into this world is to testify the truth. Everyone on the side of the truth listens to me." "What is truth?" retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again to the Jews gathered there and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him." So it turns out that is exactly what happens in the Bible. And we wanted to doubt Josh Carroll because, frankly, we're jealous of him and his success.
I will never doubt any of the brick film productions ever again.
Apparently, this verse is referred to as the jesting pilots.
Huh.
Okay. Well, now you know. It's the jesting pilot. This film was pretty biblically sound. But I didn't find it tremendously exciting to watch. In fact, I didn't enjoy watching it. I had to stop myself from looking at my phone several times. And I did go into the kitchen to toast a bagel midway through because I didn't want to look at the screen. I found it much easier to watch the 10-minute long Jehovah's Witness film that was just a rotating or just a scrolling bar of text.
Yeah.
Only at the bottom of the screen while the whole screen was full of pictures that never moved.
Yeah, it was largely just the lower third.
Yeah,
like
just a moving lower third that we were expected to read for like 2.5 full minutes so we could learn about blood sugar sex magic.
It was a great video.
It was a great video.
No, I know what you mean. It was almost impossible. If you know the story of the crucifixion, it was almost impossible to miss anything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You just had to look in and out like once or twice.
Right. Still, pretty shocking and amazing to see Jesus being whipped and flayed or crucified. Lego Jesus, of course.
It was very bloody.
There was one scene, the facial expressions were pretty well curated. There was a pretty confusing part in the crucifixion where the camera pans down and there's just a redheaded Lego with a huge smile on his face.
Yeah.
There's a pretty funny, like, notorious video game. Glitch isn't quite the right word for it, but in Kingdom Hearts, in the American port of Kingdom Hearts, or not port, I don't know, the American version of the first Kingdom Hearts. King of Hearts, it's like Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters. That's like the premise of the game. They do the scene where like Simba, Mufasa dies, in the like stampede, the wildebeest stampede. And something about the game when it was shipped, they were rushing to ship it, and the character model for Simba is constantly smiling like the whole time during like the Mufasa's death scene. Like anytime it cuts to Simba, he just has like a huge smile on his face.
Wow.
It's really funny. We could watch that video at some point, but in that beautiful way that video games are just super uncanny.
Yeah.
That's sort of
really
like,
changes the movie.
Yes, it does. No denying that. It does change things. Anyway, this is just to say that there was some, maybe that it was so close to biblical perfection that I found the strange tonal errors in it like very disarming, instead of if it was straight up just like Bionicles and shit, then I would forgive a lot more. A movie about with Bionicles as Jesus that was still based very precisely on the Book of John, that would be cinema to me.
Yeah, I agree.
So, well, you know, we've gotten to look at Easter now from a bunch of different perspectives. JW, Latter-day Saints, secular, Legos, African Legos. Apparently this was shot in Uganda.
Right. It said on location in Uganda.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does make sense if what they're implying is that all of this happened in Uganda.
That's right. It would make sense given that Jesus was black and that black people are one of the 12 tribes of Israel.
There you go.
Yeah, this could be a black nationalist Lego Christian film.
Wow.
Which would be extremely dope. The black Israelites, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they really know their Bible.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
All those videos that I sometimes watch on YouTube because we don't really have them around here. I don't really see a lot of like black Israelites in Los Angeles. I could be wrong. I think my friend Will said that they are sometimes on like Venice Beach or something like that. But you know, the ones in like New York who will like yell things at you and like quote the Bible. And,
yeah. No, I've definitely watched some of those videos.
Oh yeah, totally. They're so cool.
Very memorable is one called O'Doyle Does Not Rule. And it's a guy who looks like there's an Adam Sandler movie where it's like a bully family called the O'Doyles.
I see.
And the whole bit with them is that they're chanting like O'Doyle rules as I think their car hits a banana peel and then they careen off a cliff and die. But yeah, it's a guy kind of looks like one of them. And it's just he's like a youth pastor or something, and then black Israelites are just like completely owning him with like text he's like not even really fully aware of.
And referencing the fact that he looks like a character in an Adam Sandler movie. Yeah. God, they're funny.
Yes.
Oh man, that rocks. Well, yeah, we got to look at Easter through a lot of different perspectives. I say this was a very special Easter special. But I mean, how do we ride this thing out? Like, I feel like rating every single one of these films would be tedious. Should we like pick our favorite one and rate it? Like, how do you think? What's the most appropriate way to, play this one out?
That's a good question.
Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll alternate.
Oh, okay.
You rate the Jehovah's Witness one and the Easter Bunny puppy trailer. I'll rate the fucking Easter Dream and the Lego brick film.
Wait, I should not rate the trailer because I've definitely seen the movie.
Okay, sure. I'll rate the trailer.
Yeah, okay.
I'll rate the trailer. Okay. I'll do that and the Easter Dream.
Okay. The Jehovah's Witness movie that we watched was incredible. I loved the style of it. It was very bizarre. It was the type of style that had I not intentionally sat down to watch it in full, within 10 seconds, I would have just gone on to the next thing because it was very confusing and different than what I'm used to. However, it ended up being completely engaging, very interesting, and ultimately unique and very informative. So I'm going to have to give it, let's see, how many? 3 out of 3 rotten apples wrapped in orange peels.
Ooh. Perfect score right there. Yeah, really, I remember after we watched it saying to you, that was a remarkable way to receive information. I've never quite received information in that way.
Right?
That film did. It was very cool. But yeah, moving on to our next piece, Easter Dream. It was like a Thomas Kincaid rhapsody on the tried and true tale of Easter. We got a boy going back to Bible times, which we love. We got to see a boy and his grandpa, playing catch, swinging on the swing. which we love. So I really had it all, and wrapped in that delightful latter-day sheen that we just can't get enough of. Gonna have to give this film 4 out of 4 udders. Because I just want to milk those udders dry, because this was an incredible short film. Another banger from the Mormons.
They're good.
They are so good. I guess I will move on to our next rating. The trailer for Easter Bunny Puppy, specifically not the whole movie, which we did not have time to watch, because watching such a thing would be an abomination before Jesus Christ. Easter Bunny Puppy is a demented, secular take on the Easter story. It is perhaps pagan sex magic. But I do have a signed poster from David DeCoteau, the legend. So I find myself very devoted to his cause. And it was a perfect movie. I'm going to have to give it 2 out of 2 identical twins. Because in the film, she does lie about having a twin sister.
They are false identical twins, like this secular Easter movie.
Absolutely.
They can't even be honest about the Easter bunny.
No.
It's a puppy dressed as an Easter bunny.
Come on, grow up.
Loved it. Well, that leads us to the last thing, The Passion, a BRICKFILM. I'm going to give this perfect short film 144,000 out of 144,000 piece Lego set.
The maximum number of Legos you are allowed that can fit into one Lego set. They simply don't have room for any more. Wow. Incredible film. Well, you know what? That was the official Boys Bible Study Easter Special 2022. So thankful to all of you who listened, much as we are thankful to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for dying for us so that we could sit here today and talk into a microphone for
and search for eggs and eat candy.
Mm-hmm. Which is, as we know, the point of this incredible holiday. And if this is your first time here, we invite you to go to boysbiblestudy.com to find links to subscribe to our show anywhere you can find it on the various podcasting apps. If you really like what we do, you want to support us, and you want to unlock extra bonus episodes so you get new Boys Bible Study content every single week.
Easter eggs, if you will.
Well, then I would recommend you go to patreon.com/boysbiblestudy, pledge at the $5 tier or higher to unlock the bonus episodes. Shout outs to our very special subscribers at the $20 patron saint tier. Thank you very much. Nicole, Marissa, Jeff, Jane, Kara, and Alexandria. We could not do it without your generous support. We shout you out on every episode. Our outro music is Oh My God by Mary. From all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-host, Scott, our co-host, Julian, we would like to say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day you